Have you ever had pickled beets? Well, we're going to show you how to take the beets that you grew and turn them into some delicious pickled beets that you can enjoy all winter long. I'm Holly Bear. Welcome to Canning What You Grow. Today we're going to do some pickled beets, and this is a really easy recipe that you can do. And it's I just use a recipe in the Ball Blue book. You can maybe find your own recipe. I like this one because I know it's a trusted source, and I always recommend using a trusted source. So on the most recent Ball Blue book, it is on page 55. It says beet pickles. So you want to start with about 3 quarts of beets. That's what we approximately have. It's going to give you about 6 pints or 3 quarts of pickled beets. And all you do is you just, we gave these a little bit of a scrub off, but we're going to rinse them off a little bit more. And then we're going to get them onto the stove to get them cooking. It takes a little bit of time to get them cooking because they have to, just like a potato, have to penetrate through that rootiness of the vegetable. So I'm going to get them cleaned up and get them on the stove. Okay, so we have our beets, and they are fork tender. We got our ice water bath here because this is, we want it to cool quickly so they'll peel. Some of them are peeling already, so that's good. So I'm just going to take my slotted spoon, get it in there, get them all in there, and then we're going to start the peeling process. Now, what you can do is your boiling water bath might take a little while to get going. So we got that going, so it started to get to boiling, so when we're ready to can them, we're ready to go. So I'm going to get these peeled. I'm going to get these put in the ice water bath, and then we'll start the peeling process. Okay, so what we're doing here is we are just cutting the tops off. Some people do this before they boil them. We discovered we just like to do it after, and then it helps kind of peel it. They are pretty hot, so just keep that in mind. You can let them sit a little bit longer if you want. But I just want to show you here, they're pretty easy to peel, as you can see, and that's how you get them peeled. So then, once you get them peeled, you want to cut them up into about 1-inch pieces, bite-sized pieces, whatever you would like. I usually cut them just like that, and then you get them all set aside once you get them peeled, and then we'll work on the brine and then the canning process. Okay, so we got one last one here, and it's been really easy just to slip the tops off and the root and even the skin. So just keep in mind when you cook your beets, you want to cook them till they're fork tender, and that definitely makes a huge difference in peeling them. And these are really pretty fresh. We just harvested them about a week ago. So I'm going to cut off a little bit of the crown there, and then just get it chopped up and get it in here. Now we're going to work on the brine, and the brine goes pretty quickly, so you just have to let it excuse me, you just have to let it cook for about 15 minutes. So to get the flavors into the brine, you're going to use some pickling spices and things, so you want to keep that in mind so that you're not waiting too long to get your canner started, as I had mentioned before. So let me get this in there and we'll get the brine started. Okay, so I got my water in there. I'm going to add the vinegar. I need 3½ cups. I'm using a combination of white and red, apple cider vinegar. And so I'm kind of low on white, so I'm going to see what I can make happen here. It looks like, oh, I have pretty much exactly 2 cups, so that's good. Now let's get the rest in there. Okay, so then we're going to add 1.5 cups of the apple cider vinegar. And then we add, okay, so we need 2 cups of sugar. I already added 1.5 cups from, we had a little bit extra in a bag, so I'm adding the rest from here. And I'm going to give it a good stir as it gets heated. I don't want it to stick to the bottom. I have it on high right now. So that's all the liquid and the sugar. We're going to work on our spice packet in just a second. Okay, so we're adding 1.5 teaspoons of salt to our mixture here. This is a pretty coarse sea salt, but it'll break down. And as you're adding things, just remember to keep stirring it. It's not going to burn to the bottom right away, but You just want to keep that in mind. So let me get my spice packet together. Okay, so I have my spice packet. This is a pickling spice. I had it made up at my local spice shop. It's got a lot of different things in there. I just go ahead and I put it in my coffee filter. Now some people add cinnamon sticks. I don't always like adding cinnamon sticks, so I'm just getting a little bit more spice because there's allspice in there, so that kind of gives it a little bit of that flavor. I just gotta get it tied up, and I'm gonna drop it in there. And then what I'm gonna do is when this gets to a boil, I'm gonna turn it off, or turn it down rather, and let it cook for about 15 minutes altogether. Then I'm gonna get ready for can. Okay, so now we're ready to can, and I'm just gonna get my. We keep our jars here in the oven. They were in the hot water bath, but they're easier to access here. Got one of these purple jars, and so what you're gonna do is you turn your brine off, and then you just get your beets in there, and you can do this whatever is easiest for you. You can use a ladle, you can use your hands. My hands are clean, so I'm using my hands. I'm just trying to get them down in there as much as possible. There you go. That's pretty good. You don't want too close to the surface. Then you just get your ladle, get your brine. You want to leave a 1/4 inch headspace. It's going to settle a little bit. Okay, that's about right. 1/4 inch. Just going to get the top off. I got my lid ready. Now the new lids you don't have to soak. I know that used to be the thing. You don't have to do that anymore. Then you just go ahead and you want to get your band on. And just finger tighten it. You don't want to over tighten it. Okay? So then you want to get into your canner. And this holds 7. So I'm going to put this one off to the side. I'm going to get the rest in there, but I'm going to kind of alternate sides so I don't have all on one side and it's like tipping over all funny. Okay. So I got my top wiped off. We actually only ended up with 4. We didn't really know exactly how many beets we had, and that's okay. So it's 4 exactly though, which is kind of nice. And we'll get, as we get more beets, we can do these in batches. So I'm going to get this in here. I'm going to get this lowered down. As long as your water is boiling, you can start your timer. These go for 30 minutes. And then you just put them, you just take them out, and I'll show you that. But I'm going to get this in here and get this put down and start my timer. Okay, so we pulled the beets out after 30 minutes. I just put them on this towel. You guys want to put them on a towel if you're going to put them on a table to let it cool down. And then what we'll do is after we know they're all sealed, we'll take our rings off. And then we'll put them on the shelf, label them, and put them on the shelf storage. So there you have it, pickled beets. And I'm Holly Baird. This has been Kenny What You Grow. For more information, please visit thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com.